It's kind of scary because, like, you never think that that type of stuff would happen to you.
What happened to Hamilton Township freshman Alexa Tanakyo was finding out in October she has stage 4 cancer.
It's like the hardest thing a parent has to do is to tell their daughter that they have cancer.
It spread to the back of my head and in my sinuses, and then I think in my lungs a little bit.
But Alexa and her mother, Diane Mwansa, have determined to stand strong no matter the odds.
I guess it's one of those fight or flight modes that we get into, and I'm in fight mode right now.
Alexa has been receiving plenty of support during her battle. Total strangers have been sending her gifts and Christmas cards from places as far away as California, Utah, even Italy.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness.
The spirit of Christmas is about giving. It's not about receiving. It's about what can we give to others.
Lynn Fox formed a group called Alexa's Allies after hearing about the 15-year-old situation through a friend.
We just wanted to give her moments of happiness.
I thought, like, it was really incredible. Like, all these people wrote all these messages.
Now signs like this from area marching bands and even messages from pop stars like 5 Seconds of Summer are pouring in.
We send as much love as we can to you in Columbus.
I wanted to cry, but I didn't cry, and it was like very heavy breathing and screaming.
And as Alexa receives more and more encouragement,
Your story really inspires me.
she's finding some Christmas cheer during a time when she needs it most.
It's really, like, amazing, you know?
Josh Poland,
That's a lot of cards. Oh, goodness.
10 TV News.
So this chapter of my life was, I'm really in love this time, Mom. It said, I met the man of my dreams on February 13th, 2004.
And so begins the love story of Erica Elwell of Amherst and Greg Stallings of Elyria. Mutual friends brought them together for the first time over a game of pool.
And I said, I want to be on his team. He looks like he's good at pool.
Greg wasted no time asking her out. Their first date was the very next day on Valentine's Day.
I liked her the first night I met her, and then I just decided, hey, maybe I'll just ask her and see what she says. Maybe we'll end up hanging out more.
Did we hold hands?
I don't know.
I don't know if we held
I don't
hands, but
think
we
so.
window shopped. We walked around the mall. It was a hot date.
Ate off the dollar menu at
McDonald's and in the food court.
That was the first of many dates for the teenagers. Even Erica's boss at Kudrowski's Bakery could see something was special about their relationship.
I remember her coming in, she said, I think I found a boyfriend. And it was really cute because she was just all giggly like you would expect a little teenage girl to be. And she was so excited and just so full of life and just fell in love that time.
That's out back.
They continued dating after high school, but a call to duty would keep them apart for 6 years. Greg was a firefighter in the Air Force. He was deployed to Iraq and then stationed in Japan.
We still stayed in contact. We talked to each other every day. We still said I love you and things like that. And so we always knew that we would, you know, hold out and be together in the long run.
Welcome to class. Today we are going to do our STAR reading assessment.
Erica is now an intervention specialist teaching language, arts, and math to 5th graders at Nord Middle School in Amherst. She's also working on her master's. And Greg is getting a degree in mechanical engineering from Cleveland State.
They have been through so much together, her and Greg, and so just to be able to have this happen for them was just phenomenal. It was just love, and they have been together through it all.
And our first magical 3 words of I love you were exchanged 3 months later on June 29th.
The two knew they wanted to get married for a while. Being selected to get married on the morning show decided it for them.
And said, will you marry me on Valentine's Day? And I was like, yes!
And their wedding day will be the 10-year anniversary of their very first date.
I do know this is the one. He always knows how to make me laugh and make me smile. He's made me smile since the day I met him.
She appreciates my jokes. I just love hanging out with her.
Well, I can't imagine my life with anybody but Greg. He's made me so happy, and he's my best friend.
And I feel the exact same way.
That's a picture of me in my uniform in 1945. We did it for our country. I did it because I had lost a husband overseas and a nephew. It was my duty to go into the military. That's why I joined the Waves. Brings back a lot of memories.
Congratulations, lady.
Thank you. When I received the call that I was going to be inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, I thought somebody's going to have to pick me up off the floor. I never expected anything like this.
Well, it's fantastic, and I'm so happy for you.
That was my state senator.
Oh, that said hello to you?
Yeah. The proudest moment of my life was when I put that uniform on.
They have been our heroes, have given us the freedom that we have, and they will continue to be our heroes.
Now it is my honor to present the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Class of 2014. She taught school in Kentucky for 4 years and joined the Waves during World War II. She's since lived a life of service to the greater community.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Please welcome Ruby Gilliam, Class of 2014.
It's one of the highest honors that I could ever receive. I feel honored, highly, highly honored to be a part of this Hall of Fame.
The recipe for a happy Valentine's Day starts here.
It's a wonderful time.
This is where you'll find chocolate swirled, candies coated, and hearts melted.
Our box means family.
For more than 50 years, Esther Price has had the right mix of ingredients to make days and people feel special.
We have good product, we have good memories.
This Valentine's Day, thousands will untie the company's signature red ribbon to get to the sweet surprises inside. But no matter how many tasty treats await, one woman always knows what she wants, and you won't find it inside.
Okay, here they are.
It's not that Emma doesn't like chocolate, it's just that for her, these boxes are also filled with memories.
And everybody says, why did you keep all these boxes? Well, how can you throw them away? You know, because they're pretty. 53.
Emma got her first box more than 50 years ago from then-boyfriend Hoyt.
He gave me that. I was like, oh, I'd never seen a box of candy like that before. It was so big, you know. I loved it.
2 years after that first box, Hoyt and Emma were married. He was a police officer, but he was never too busy to buy his wife her Valentine's Day box of chocolates. And Emma saved every one, nearly 60 in all, writing the date inside so she wouldn't forget.
He would try to get a different one every year, but sometimes, of course, you couldn't remember. So a couple of them are the same boxes.
After the first few, Hoyt got them all from Esther Price. Just as the boxes changed through the years, so did the Bumgardners. They built a house and raised a family. But sometimes life's surprises aren't as sweet.
I knew he was very sick, but he was such a fighter and never been sick before, never.
Hoyt battled cancer once, but it returned. It was on a February trip back from one of his treatments that he made Emma take a detour she'd never forget.
He said, well, just keep on going. And we get to Esther Price's and he says, turn in here. And I said, oh no, babe, you don't need to buy me a box of candy. He said, don't I always buy you a box of candy for Valentine's Day?
It was the last box he'd ever get her. In September of 2011, Hoyt died of cancer.
So, and they say time heals. It might a little bit, but it never goes away.
An empty heart to go with her empty boxes. But this Valentine's Day, Emma had a surprise waiting for her.
Hello.
After hearing about Emma's story from one of her daughters, Esther Price owner Jim Day made sure she wouldn't go without a box this year.
We got a basket here we want to give you, but
soon Emma will add that box to her collection. It will go in with the last one her husband gave her, a box called a Forget-Me-Not. But in a way, they're all forget-me-nots, reminders of the love that's still inside.
But he was the love of my life, so, and always will be. He's right here in my heart.
Jordan Burgess, 2 News, working for you.
Yeah, it's been a long road, but I finally found my way.
The song Walter Glashinsky sings is about himself, but how he found his way is very much about other people. It happened years ago. At the time, no surprise, Walter's career was music.
I was playing my music to some special needs kids, and I said, I need to do this. So I went to college in my 30s.
To become a special ed teacher focusing on another of his life's loves, cooking. His reason was practical.
Most of my students operate between the 1st and 3rd grade levels in academics, and there's no jobs out there for 1st to 3rd grade academics. But there's tons of jobs out there for entry level, in the food services.
He wanted his kids to have a shot at those jobs, so he left limits he encountered in other states behind and brought his dream of running a commercial kitchen at a high school to Newark.
And I made an appointment with the special ed director, and I said, this is what I want to do. And she said, that's a beautiful idea.
The Smiling with Hope Bakery,
When you come in here, you got to smile, guaranteed.
was born. While most students there go to traditional book-bound classes, Walter's kids weigh the homemade dog biscuits they bag for sale. They wash dishes. They roll and toss dough.
Let me try that.
One there.
Okay.
Now go up in the air. Throw.
Which isn't easy. They make pizza, cookies, bagels.
You're just going to take them 2 at a time, put them right on the water, and let go.
And they sell everything they produce to keep their licensed kitchen running.
And I could stand back and see them all working like in symphony. On their own. Gonna shake to the right.
A symphony that simply couldn't make music without its conductor.
Just the fact that he's doing this for special needs students, you know. Oh man, there's a lot to be said about Mr. G.
He changed my life when I came here.
The skills they pick up help them write their own recipe for success. In Walter's Perfect Someday, he'll run into his former students at their work.
And they could tell me about their life, how they're working, how they have an apartment, how they're happy. And that's all, that's everything. I've been smiling with hope.
Beautiful, Mom. I need to clean up in here.
In so many ways, Sarah Perry is every bit an almost 13-year-old. She listens to pop music, has homework, and likes to talk about her room.
Surprise, it's messy.
The real surprise is just how quickly this 12-year-old can morph from her preteen self into accomplished musician. Her big sister took this picture.
She once said it's like she was transported to a whole different world, and you can tell just by watching her that she is.
Sarah likes classical, but loves Celtic music.
Well, it just seems to connect with me so much.
It started way back in her Irish dancing days when she was 4.
I was dancing and I heard the music and I wanted to just stop and stand there and listen. I said, Mom, I want to learn to play the violin.
About every generation in my family's had musicians, so it was bound to hit.
Did it ever? She says she picks up most songs by ear, but she does practice a lot. Her skill has earned Sarah plenty of hardware and titles.
What are you thinking about when you're in the thick of the music?
I'm not actually thinking about much. I just kind of get pulled into the music, into the melody.
And playing isn't her only strength. With her tune writing, she earned 12th best in the world in her age group at a competition in Ireland. The winning song, the one she's playing now, was a tribute to a 92-year-old neighbor who died. She called it Jill's Jig.
She always enjoyed my playing, and the one wish that I have for her life is that I played for her more. So.
Whenever there's anything stressful in her life, she turns to her music and she finds her peaceful place.
His daughter also finds that place with her penny whistle and her mandolin. The violins, though, especially that family fiddle, really have her heart.
I could tell it means a lot to you because when I asked you, you almost kind of hugged it.
Yes.
Why do you love it so much?
Well, my instruments are pretty much my best friends, actually. If somebody took away one of my violins, I would be very sad. If they took away two, I'd be desperate. All three, and my heart would be broken.
Certainly not your typical preteen crush.
It's a part of her, and it brings her eternal joy, and I think that's the most valuable thing.
I'm going to play it up till the day I die, if I'm able to.
He was a firefighter, paramedic, volunteer, and so he was always taking care of others. And that's the hardest thing for him, is having somebody else take care of him.
At 59 years old, Gary Ellis is having to live his life with the help of others.
All right, hon, I'm going to do your hand here.
3 years ago, ALS stole his ability to walk and talk.
I'm just grinning because you're holding my hand.
But the disease did not take away his sense of humor.
Rule of one, I have ALS. I am dying. I get hugs.
Using a speech computer that he controls with his eyelids, Gary is living a life he never imagined. It began with slurred speech that continued to get worse.
But I am grateful to be alive. Every day above ground is a good day. I continue to be amazed by the love and support by family and friends.
His wife Pam says she's proud of the public's newfound interest in ALS, a disease that destroys nerve cells to the brain.
I mean, some of these people that are dumping ice buckets on their heads probably never even heard of ALS.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, named after the famous New York baseball player, has left researchers struggling on a cure and a cause. More than 70 years since his death, researchers say the average life expectancy for someone diagnosed with ALS remains just 3 to 5 years.
And I think the reason for that is basically that it's a lot more complicated disease than anybody thought 80 years ago.
Dr. John Kissel says researchers at OSU Wexner Medical Center are determined to understand what makes this disease tick.
The primary focus on ALS now is to try to find out why these cells die. But I think with that work is going on with the idea that that will give us a hint on how to treat it.
As for Gary and his wife, they know their time together is shortened because of ALS, which is why they hope the public continues to fund research to find a cure.
It's all about finding a cause, finding a treatment, hopefully finding a cure. That's what we want, is a cure, because no one should have to go through this.
In Dublin, Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
I was diagnosed September 17th, 2011, my 11th birthday. It was kind of heart-wrenching because I felt like the world was over.
In many ways, life as Maggie had known it was over.
You guys really have to know, this is the most horrible thing that anyone could go through.
Maggie's story, in her own words, is filled with heartache.
I'm just emotional. I've been brave for so long.
Filled with pain.
It hurts really bad.
And filled with laughter.
Seriously, I'm gonna go take a walk because I need some exercise. Getting a little bit chubby.
Maggie is battling lymphoblastic lymphoma, a rare and aggressive form of cancer.
It tastes how nail polish smells.
Maggie was halfway through her treatment when we met her, and her family agreed to keep a video diary of Maggie's journey.
It's really cold. I can feel it. It's going right through there.
The project took on a life of its own. It was as if the camera became Maggie's ally in her battle against cancer.
Today's the day after my chemo. I feel crappier than heck. I am cramping, I am worn out, and I just feel like I'm gonna throw up.
A year and a half into treatment, Maggie had endured about 20 spinal taps and endless rounds of chemotherapy. With just 4 months to go, she reached her breaking point. Even then, she asked her mom to record the moment.
What's going on? I'm just emotional. I've been brave for so long. Yeah, it's like you've been running for a few hours, like for hours, and then the finish line's 20 feet away. It just seems so far.
Okay, you've got 4 months.
But it still just seems so far away.
I know, but look how far you've come. What are you gonna do in 4 months? What are you gonna ring?
A bell?
Your bell?
She's talking about the last chemo bell.
All the kids want to ring it. All of them. When I get to ring that bell, it's the day I know I'm cancer-free. I want to ring the bell so bad. They collected a lot.
Maggie focused her energy on raising money to help other sick kids.
I made $400 last year and $5,659.72 this year.
But Maggie's good karma began to come back around.
I got a haircut. Yep, I got my first haircut in 2 years.
Turn around, let's see it.
And 2 years after the family's nightmare began, Maggie got her wish.
I'm officially done.
You're officially done.
I'm officially done.
Maureen Cosant, 10 TV News.
I'm in a club I never wanted to belong to.
It's an expression you'll hear over and over again from breast cancer survivors. Mindy Bondi is new to this. She was diagnosed in December, finished chemo in August. Doctors admit they probably would have missed her tumor. She did. Did you know you had a lump?
I did not. Undetectable.
But it was that time of year Mindy's doctor reminded her that she was due for a mammogram, and so she made an appointment.
That was in November of last year.
That day, there was something extra the doctor did, and it likely saved Mindy's life. Along with the traditional 2D mammogram women have been getting for decades, this 58-year-old mother of 3 got a 3D scan, which gives a much clearer picture of what's going on in the tissue. In the mammogram on the left, the tumor is hiding, but in the 3D scan on the right, it becomes clear there is something there.
So it really was only seen on a few of these 1 millimeter images.
Dr. Donna Plecha is the head of breast imaging at Seidman Cancer Center. She showed us how advanced the technology has become.
This patient came in and we were unable to find her cancer on the 2D mammogram, and we actually only found her cancer on the 3D mammogram in only one view. It's right here. It looks kind of like a firework or an asterisk, kind of like a spider.
Dr. Plecha explained it like this. A 2D mammogram is like looking at the cover of a book. You can't really see what's inside. A 3D mammogram allows you to open up that book and leaf through page by page, seeing one slice at a time.
Really been a game changer for us.
Now I want you to lean slightly towards your right shoulder.
Seidman Cancer Center was involved in a study in June that screened 500,000 women across the United States, and the results were remarkable.
And we showed that 3D mammography was able to increase invasive cancer detection by 41%, increased overall detection by 29%, and decreased callback rates by 15%. So we were able to do a better job at finding cancers, and we didn't have to ask a lot of people to come back for extra images that they didn't need.
In other words, it's hunting down that potential killer lurking in breast tissue and finding it when other tests do not.
What they found in the 3D mammogram, they did not find in the ultrasound.
For Mindy, it was a miracle. Turns out she had stage 2 breast cancer. It had spread to her lymph nodes. She had a double mastectomy and 8 rounds of chemotherapy. If not for that 3D mammogram, her cancer might have remained hidden until it was too late.
I still feel like I was lucky because it was still very early. So could have been so much worse.
Here comes that pulling pressure and tightness.
And for women with dense breast tissue, this 3D mammography is cutting right through the cloudiness and revealing the tiny details.
I have found here that there are some dense-breasted women that I can't see their cancers on a regular mammogram, but I am able to pick them up on the new 3D mammography.
As Dr. Plecha puts it, mammograms are the only tests that have proven to increase breast cancer detection, and 3D takes it to a whole new level, allowing more women to join that survivors club.
Ultrasound hasn't been proven to do that. MRI hasn't been proven to do that. It's the best tool we have currently. We have a better tool now with the 3D mammography, but it's the only one that's been tested. It's not a perfect tool, but it's the best tool we have. It's absolutely been proven to save lives.
Ask Mindy Bondi, it saved hers. Now nearly on the other side of this whole ordeal, she sees the light at the end, the day that she will no longer feel like her entire life is all about breast cancer.
I feel good. I'll be feeling better when it's all done.
In Cleveland, Stacey Fry, Fox 8 News.